The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. I want us to have a very educational live stream this evening. We're going through right now, we're in Black History Month, and we're going to be talking about something that definitely needs to be talked about. Okay, we're going to be talking about really the origins of foundational Black Americans. As foundational Black Americans are trending, everybody's talking about us, we're the talk of the town, and people are acting as if they don't know who foundational Black Americans are, what we are, and all of this stuff. They're acting as if they don't know. They're acting obtuse, which can be expected. We're going to do a history lesson. It is Black History Month. But before we do that, I want me to let you guys know exactly why I came up with this subject in the first place. So I was scrolling through the internet and I saw, you know, the $5 Indians, and you know how they be doing. I saw this one particular video of a $5 Indian. If you guys notice, I changed the setup a little bit, brought the camera a little bit closer. All right. Saw a $5 Indian make this video. So before we play this video, y'all already know, if you're not new here, you already know what we got to do. So as you guys are hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, double checking to make sure you're subscribed, all of this stuff, we're going to play this copyright disclaimer to make sure that all of the videos played this evening are under the guise of fair use. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, so this was the video that I saw that was like, oh, okay, this might need to be a subject, because I saw this video and then that led me to go back and watch a few other videos. So this is what made me think about it. Look at this. Look at this, y'all.
You guys, they're saying we're learning from them. We've been Indian our whole lives. You've been Indian since you downloaded TikTok. The fuck? They get our information and then they twist it and try to blackwash it. I'm here to correct all that. Y'all are not the Indians. Y'all are not indigenous from here. I actually don't know where the fuck you guys are from, but y'all weren't here with us. We have treaties with the people that came here and even the tribes that were here. How come y'all don't have a treaty with us? If you were here, how come you guys don't have clans? How come you guys don't have a clan? Everybody has a clan. It's either animal, plant, or bird that's indigenous to the Americas. How come you guys don't have that? How come y'all don't know the language? Any language? How come you speak AAVE, African American Vernacular English, slang or whatever, right? Because it comes from Africa, Ibu. It's got Ebonics in it. Right? You guys are from there. Take a DNA test, yo. Take a DNA test.
Okay. Just notice he's talking about blackwashing. So now that's a thing. Now when we try to tell accurate history, it's blackwashing. So he's doing this in response to a lot of foundational Black Americans getting online and telling accurate history about our true indigenous history. The fact that what was formerly known as African Americans, foundational Black Americans, have been here longer than what is originally taught and have been reported. So as we do this, let me go to the official FBA website so we can look at what foundational Black American really actually means. As we're doing this, hold on for a second. Let me just make this tad bit bigger for you guys. All right. So this is the official foundational Black American website, officialfba.com. All right, let me zoom in real quick. We're not going to read the whole thing, just this tad bit, early bit. It says Foundation Black Americans, FBA, are the proud descendants of the Black men and women who endured and survived one of the greatest atrocities in human history, American slavery. The sorry, the Brazilian ancestors built the United States from the ground up, laying the foundation for the nation's economy, political, and cultural development. However, the rich history of FBA did not begin in 1619 with the arrival of enslaved black people in Virginia. It began nearly a century earlier. Okay, in 1726, which is the number that's on the FBA flag, Spanish colonizer Lucas Vasquez de Allen, if I butchered that name, it's okay, brought the first documented enslaved black people to the shores of what is now the South Carolina and Georgia coastal. Shortly after the arrival, these enslaved black people courageously revolted against their captors, leading to the capsule of the Spanish settlement. The surviving Spaniards retreated to the Caribbean, leaving behind the liberated black people. These freed black people integrated with the local Native American societies, marking a pivotal and often overlooked chapter in the lineage and cultural evolution of foundational black Americans. All right. So that's the first thing. Now, when we get to history of it, we have to understand as black people, as let's go to Africa, centuries in Africa. African people were known to travel the world. All right. They were known to be good salesmen, good navigators, good when it comes to making maps, good when it comes to all of this stuff. Nobody ever really has a problem saying that there were African people or black people everywhere in the world except America. If you say that there were black people in Asia, people are okay with that. If you say that there were black people in Europe, people are okay with that. If you say that black people were in the Americas, that's when people get like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. People say that because they don't want us to claim this land, just like that $5 Indian. Don't want us to claim this land. Let me show you some of these images real quick. I want you to see. Now, this guy just said that he was the real Native American. And when you look at some of the images, when you look at stuff like this, and you see the statues, you see that these people claim to be Native American, but the statues and all of the evidence looks more like a black person. The phenotype looks more like a black person. Even Lucia woman, whose body was built up, whose body was dug up and was found to be the oldest skeleton in this country. Quite literally the oldest skeleton in this country. They found out, because they did a bunch of DNA scans and stuff like that, they found out that she was actually, hold on, why did that come up? Sorry. They found out that she was a black woman. The oldest skeleton in this country belongs to a black woman. There were black people, you can say black people, African people, Negro people, whatever you want to say. They were here. We were here before Columbus, before all of this stuff. If you look at this, this is the oldest documented, verified skeleton that's been here on this land. This is not made up. I'm not making this up. This ain't, this is just what your grandma told you, so you just gonna believe anything and everything your grandma said. No, this is history. All right, when you look at the Olmec statues, now let me ask you guys this question. If we weren't here during this period, why does all of the statues, not one, not two, but why does all of the statues look like a black person? Why does all of the skeletons look like black people? How does that make sense? That doesn't really make sense to me unless we were here. It doesn't really make that much sense, does it? Not really. It doesn't really make that much sense. We've been here. When you look at some of the pictures of the Native Americans, some of the real pictures of the Native Americans, you can see how dark their skin was. Now you have a lot of pale skin Native Americans. When you look at these pictures of these Native Americans, you see these people had very dark skin. Now, the phenotype is different from the typical African phenotype as far as the high cheekbones and the hair. So the phenotype is different, but that's what happens when you migrate to a different part of the world. When you migrate to a different part of the world, the sun is different. The sun rays are different. The environment is different. The food is different. That can change the amount of melanin that you have in your skin. That can change your hair texture. The environment can change your hair texture. The food you eat can also be a factor in that stuff. That's why people from Nigeria who have roots in Africa, never migrated, look different from people in Ethiopia. People from Ethiopia look different from people in South Africa. People in South Africa look different from people in Somalia, and who look different from people in Morocco. And this is still in one single continent, the continent of Africa, because different environments and different phenotypes do change. Evolution does happen in that way. But you can clearly tell that these people, these are authentic pictures of Native Americans. And you can see how dark their skin is. Now, the people who are claiming to be Native American today, their skin doesn't look like this. Their skin doesn't look like this at all. Now, is this to say that the slave trade didn't happen? No, we're not saying that the slave trade didn't happen. All right. But what happened was, when they came back over here after 1526, when the Europeans came back over here and they started bringing slaves to Virginia from the continent of Africa, which I'm not denying the Middle Passage here. Why didn't this picture come up? Okay, there we go. I'm not denying the Middle Passage. But if you look at all of the documentation of the Middle Passage, you will see that the Native Americans, or the enslaved Africans, most of them went to South America, the land that became South America. And as a matter of fact, Columbus never stepped foot in North America. Columbus, when they say he discovered the Americas, when they say that, they mean he discovered the whole continent of America, the Americas. He didn't come to North America, the land that would become the United States of America. So we're not going to deny that that happened. But two things can be correct at the same time. All right. So here's some pictures I want you to understand, because we're going to go through some videos in a second. There are pictures of black people on slave ships. These are black people who are on slave ships. This is documented history right here. Here are some more pictures. This isn't paintings or anything like that. These are real pictures that were taken of black people on slave ships. I'm sorry. So we have to understand the history of this stuff, because what they're going to try to do is try to say that we're getting all of this stuff from conspiracy theorists online, and we're denying any part of Africa. I'm not denying that. But when I look at how the Middle Passage happened, I'm going to be very honest, it would make more sense. Africa is closer, just geographically. If you're going to look at the world, Africa, as you can clearly tell, is closer to South America than it is to North America. So it would make more sense that most of the slaves that came from West Africa would go to South America than would come to North America. Even when you look at the roots here, you can clearly tell that there were fewer roots that came to North America than it was to South America. I mean, and that's just geometry. That's just what the case is. But you have, and now we're having a lot of FBA start to learn their history and do their genealogy and have these conversations, even though we knew it for a minute, because our ancestors would pass this down. One of the ways we would learn our history is through oral history or oral lessons. Our grandfather, our grandmother, they would sit us down. They would say, this is where you're from. This is where he's from. This is where our family's from. We came from here. We are Native or Indian, which is what they would say. So a lot of celebrities, Ice Cube, Waka Flocka, Chris Brown, someone else, I think Kanye even recently, have started to say that, have started to speak that truth to power, which is upsetting a lot of people because they have high profiles. Let me show you. Let's go back to the $5 Indian guy.
Questlove saying they're native. Ice Cube, Waka Flocka, Chris Brown, Kanye West. They're all saying they're native because they know the truth. We are now entering the era of the red man. You're gonna see natives in movies more. You're gonna hear more of our songs. We're gonna have more athletes and all that. They've always tried to suppress us. This is our home, right? Everybody else is not in their home. We are the only people that are in our home. And now entering the era of the red man, they've always suppressed us. It's been 100 years. This year you've been recognized as United States citizens when this is our stuff. It's not even the United States. They stole that from the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. The founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin and them, were spying on Iroquois government, really taking down notes so they can put it in their constitution. They liked the way we did things. They admired us.
Okay. So apparently they came up with everything. All right. So this is the $5 Indian stuff that's going on. This is them. And let me say something. He goes on and he makes a whole bunch of stuff, and which is why I'm here, because we're gonna have to do our work to break this stuff down. This stuff has to get broken down. Let me pull up the next clip, because this guy makes his whole profile dedicated to this. His entire profile is dedicated specifically to that. So going to the next one. Now look at this, y'all.
Don't be so forgiving to the white man, yo. Really, what he did to your ancestors.
He's saying we as foundational Black Americans should not be so forgiving to the white man.
Don't be so forgiving to the white man, yo. Really, what he did to your ancestors, you should be trying to get back for that. You should be trying to get revenge. They did my ancestors dirty. They stole my ancestors' land. You should not be teaming up with the white man to try to replace us. You're crying around on TikTok that you've been reclassified and really you're an Indian. Well, let me just tell you something. Take a look in the fucking mirror. Take a fucking look in the mirror, yo. You are no Indian. You could be part Indian. You could even be half. Just fucking say that. Just say that. If you're part Indian, say that. Don't say you're the original and we replaced you. The fuck is the matter with you? Calling us Siberian and Asian and shit. You say your grandma was Cherokee. Do you call your fucking grandma a Siberian? No, you fucking don't. So we would be your fucking family if what you were saying was true. But you know how we know it's not true? Because the way you came about it. The way you came about it. If y'all came to us and we're like, yo, we want to be on some fuck the government shit. We want to unite. We want to join forces, right? And be like, yeah, you guys are welcome. Join the tribe, right? Get adopted in, whatever. But no, you guys started telling our story wrong. You started blackwashing all Native history.
Now, this is the one. Now I got to go to, because I mean, he goes on. He goes on for a minute, y'all. He goes on for a minute. These are the $5 Indians. And we're going to get into the history of the $5 Indians. I'm going to, because this is Black History Month, y'all. And we gotta understand our Black history. So I'm going to teach you guys. We're going to have a lesson. My brothers and my sisters, my foundational Black American brothers and sisters, we're going to have a lesson into the origin of the $5 Indians. That's what we're going to do this evening. All right. So y'all lock in with me. Let me show y'all this, because I'm starting to see this thing where all of these non-FBA people are talking about how we owe them. Now, are y'all seeing that? Let me show y'all this. Let me show you this, and then let me ask y'all. Because all of these people are claiming that we owe them something. Listen to this.
They need to remember we had their back in Black Lives Matter. Yes, my grandma marched behind Martin Luther King during the Civil Rights Movement.
Let me stop you. He said his grandma marched with Dr. Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement. How many times have we heard that before? My grandma marched with Dr. Man, listen. Everybody in their mama claim that they grandma, they grandpa, they father, they mama march with Dr. There ain't nobody got no proof of this. There ain't no proof. Don't ask for proof because there ain't none. Ain't none. But everybody claim that they people march with Dr. Martin. Now, when you look at the pictures of who was supporting Dr. Martin Luther King, when you look at the documents, when you look at King's words of who was supporting him, ain't nobody was there but black folk. It was a handful of white people sometimes, but it was black people who was there. But yet, now that he's passed away, now everybody and their mama claim that they was marching with Dr. Martin Luther King. Let them tell it. And they was jumping in front of bullets for him. Let them tell it. Okay, his grandma marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay, sure. All right, that's what he claimed happened.
Marched behind Martin Luther King during the civil rights movement. We were there for Black Lives Matter. Now, this stuff that I see, people, the colonizer and
okay, in the whole we were there for Black Lives Matter, does that remind you guys of this? I want to show y'all this. This is the Hispanic woman who's all like, why isn't the black community standing for us like Latinos did for BLM? What is up with all of these people sitting up here claiming that they were in such support of the Black Lives Matter? Where is because I was at multiple protests. I didn't see these people who claim to be Native American. I didn't see them there. And I was at big ones, not the small little ones. I was at big ones. I didn't see them there. When I looked on the news, I didn't see them there. To be very honest with you, I saw Hispanics looting and then going home, if we're going to be honest about that. All of these people all of a sudden acting like we owe them. So we were here for Black Lives Matter. Okay. So at first, your grandma, I just want to get this straight. At first, your grandma marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. No evidence necessary. No evidence necessary. Don't even ask for that. Now, you march with us with BLM. Okay, so it was your grandma, now it's you. Okay, so this is the story they're telling now. This is the story they're telling. That our struggles are connected, are tied together. That's what they're telling. And we're doing them wrong. Let them tell it. The foundational Black Americans are doing the Native Americans wrong. Let them tell it. All right.
They're both colonizers. He colonized their history, and now they're teaming up together to colonize our history.
Okay. So he's saying we are teaming up. I want you to look at the images he chose to use. He chose to use a black man with Malcolm X on the back of his shirt. He has, like pro-black symbols and stuff like that. Fist bumping, white dude with Klan tattoos and all of that stuff. So we're teaming up with the white man against the Native man. Okay. That's what he's saying. I think that's I think so. I can't really tell, but it looks like that to me. Okay. That's what it looks like. So this is what he's saying. So then he said something, and I was just looking. I'm all like, am I going to make a video about this guy? I don't know. Maybe a small one. Maybe I'll do a pre-recorded one. I don't know. I've been pretty busy this week. If you guys didn't know, been pretty busy. But then I saw this. Then I saw he started speaking about our reparations. And I said, oh no. I said, I can't allow that now. I said, that won't be tolerated. Oh no, we ain't going to be doing that. So I didn't get the chance to download it. So I just played straight off the website right here.
He who controls the...
Oh.
They need to remember we had...
Hold on. Damn it.
They don't find your people in those mounds. He who controls... Grass ain't greener on the other side. It's not. Claiming to be indigenous and not is just going to get you more fucked up. And then they're going to really deport you. You guys, and I get it. You guys want reparations, right?
He said, claiming to be indigenous and you're not is going to get us really effed up, as opposed to what's going on now. And then we going to get deported. We're going to be the ones getting deported because we're claiming to be Native American. Okay. Now he says something about reparations. Listen.
Don't be so. Let's talk about Egypt real quick. Not
something else.
Native Americans. Let's talk about. Don't. Grass ain't greener on the other side. It's not. Claiming to be indigenous and not is just going to get you more fucked up. And then they're going to really deport you. You guys, and I get it. You guys want reparations, right? I'm down for reparations. Fuck yeah. They get fucking their 40 acres and a meal. We get land back. It's not their land to give away. So they should be getting money for the work that their ancestors did. Not land because it's our land. I'm a firm believer in that. Deport to where? They're going to take your DNA and the highest percentage of where, whatever it is, that's where they're going to send you. Really.
All right.
Yes. And if they start handing out reparations for slavery, Native Americans won't have to correct the misinformation out there because all the people pretending to be Native won't be pretending no more. Grass ain't greener on the other side.
Okay. Let's break that down. He says we need to stop because we run the risk of getting deported. They're going to take our DNA. They're going to find the percentage of where we're most likely to come from, and they're going to send us back over there. Okay? That's what's going to happen if we keep playing. Now, we can get reparations. We can't get land, though. Remember, he was like, yeah, I'm cool with 40 acres. Yeah, y'all can get your 40 acres. We're old more than that. Y'all can get your 40 acres, but y'all can't get no land. It belongs to us. Okay, and if we get reparations, that now proves that we're not indigenous. That's what he's saying. So this is why I'm all like, okay, we're going to have to really break this down. And it was a case. I watched this video recently that I want to show you guys. Because there's this case. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. There's this case. What was going on while a lot of black people, and they like to use the whole blood quantum thing, like do a DNA test, do a DNA test. They like to say the whole thing about the do a DNA test thing because they kicked a lot of black people out of the tribes who are official members of these tribes. They forced all of the black Negro Native Americans out the tribes, and they would only allow the kind of closer to the Asian red phenotype, red Native Americans to stay in the tribe. Okay. And over time, a lot of black people were not allowed to be in the tribes. They married white people, so the blood is different. It deteriorated. So now when you take a blood test, they'll be all like, "Oh, this doesn't go back to the Dawes roles," and we're going to get into that. Let me show you this video, and then I'm going to break it down as we keep going. All right. And this is Black History Month, brothers and sisters. We got to understand this.
African American.
And I think this is very important for reparations as well, too. Now, listen to this.
I'm an African American with Cherokee heritage. My great-grandmother.
Foundational Black American, but okay. All right.
Phyllis.
Now, I want you to see. This is his great-grandmother. You can look and tell, yeah, I can kind of see the Indian. I can see the Indian. But clearly she is black. Clearly she is black. Clearly. But you can tell by the hair texture, by the high cheekbones, by the nose. You can tell, okay, well, that doesn't necessarily look like an African necessarily. Okay. The phenotype doesn't look like it's directly from Africa. And I'm not trying to say that we have never, ever, 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 ever have any DNA or any ties to Africa, or these native people don't. But the people who are claiming to be native now, they have ties closer to Siberia in Asia. All right. But you can tell, if you could look, this is more of a Negroid Indian woman who is his great grandmother. I want you guys, I zoomed in so you guys can really get a good look. Now let's continue the video.
Thompson Pettit was a slave of the Cherokees.
It's a little-known chapter in American history. The Cherokees were one of 5 Indian tribes whose members owned slaves.
So what were those slaves doing for the Cherokee Nation?
They were agricultural laborers. There were also individuals who worked as domestic slaves.
But in 1860...
Now, the slave, yeah, if people didn't know that, while he's talking about his grandmother marched for Dr. King and all that, a lot of these 5 civilized tribes, the reason why these 5 civilized tribes are even named that is because the people in these tribes, really acquiesced and assimilated to Anglo-American, which is European American society, culture, and norms. So a lot of them married. Why they would be considered 5 civilized tribes? I'm talking about the Creek. I'm talking about the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, all of these tribes. These tribes, a lot of them, they would only be considered 5 civilized tribes if they would marry white people, okay? If they would have some of the customs, that means they would eat some of the foods, they would abandon some of their native customs, and most importantly, they would adopt the same slave master mentality. So a lot of these 5 civilized tribes were working as slave catchers and slave owners. They would even enslave some of their own, the darker skinned of them in their tribe. So a lot of them, they would say a lot of them are freedmen who came from the Middle Passage, as we see right here. So Europeans would own some, and then Native would own some. But a lot of them, if we're going to be honest, a lot of darker skinned Indians, I'm going to say that because I don't want to confuse. I know I'm using a lot of different words right now. I don't want to confuse you guys. But a lot of the darker skinned Indians were betrayed because they didn't have the look in order to assimilate to European society. So they were not put in the categories of the 5 civilized tribes, and they were enslaved by the 5 civilized tribes. So it was a lot of natives, black Indians that were enslaved by the 5 civilized tribes, as well as some of the ones who came during the Middle Passage on the slave ships. So all of this stuff was going on at the same time. So getting back to the video.
The Cherokees freed their slaves. They signed a treaty guaranteeing that all freedmen and their descendants would, quote, have all the rights of native Cherokees. Today, that treaty is at the center of a controversy involving nearly 3,000 African Americans. On August 22nd, Cherokee Nation kicked them out of the tribe.
The Treaty of 1866 did not give citizenship to the freedmen nor their descendants.
Diane.
So when we say that we were a part of these treaties, and the natives, if we're going to talk about reparations, they owe us too. This is what we're talking about, because they would have treaties with the government, and that's why they don't have to pay taxes and all of this stuff. They would have treaties and lands and resorts and all that stuff, and then they would just kick off all the black people. All of the black people, all of the Negro people, all y'all got to go. Y'all look too damn Negro-like. Y'all too black. Y'all got to go. And they would do that all the time. All right. And then when your grandmother would say, hey, we were part native, they were like, oh, where's your paperwork then? Where's your paper? What tribe? What, you're not a part of. And then when you would bring up a tribe, they were all like, you're not a part of that tribe. No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't say that. So that's how they would do. All right.
Hammonds is the Attorney General for Cherokee Nation.
The heart of the issue is whether or not an Indian tribe can determine who is eligible to be a member of that tribe.
In 2007, Cherokee Nation passed a law requiring proof of Indian blood to be a member. The proof is based on a record that was created a century ago called the Dawes Rolls. The freedmen say the Dawes Rolls are wrong because they were based on how you looked.
If you looked black, they wrote Cherokee freedmen. If you looked not black, they wrote Cherokee.
Okay, And this is very important, all right? If y'all got to timestamp this, y'all got to take notes. It's very important. Now, the person, this is Henry L. Dawes, all right? It was a white man. He was a senator. He's the one who came up with the Dawes Rolls because after the Civil War, they wanted to take a lot of the resorts from the Native Americans. They wanted to take that stuff back. So what they did is they developed the Dawes Rolls. What the Dawes Rolls did was they said, well, what we're going to do is we're not going to give the land to a tribe. We're going to give the land to individual Native Americans. All you got to do is verify that you're a Native American and you can get a certain of land. And this way, America was able to take a lot of land from the tribes. What happened was that the white people who were running the Dawes Rolls, they got to pick who was a Native American or who was Indian. They weren't saying Native, who was Indian and who was not. So what they did was the natives that looked kind of like more Asian or more Siberian, so to speak, they would say, okay, you're just straight up Indian. The ones who looked black or the ones who looked too black, they would say, okay, you're an Indian freedman, you're a Cherokee freedman, you're a Creek freedman. So you're not really an Indian. And what that happened, with that, it allowed a lot of white people, follow me, y'all, follow me. It allowed a lot of them to come in and be all like, hey, I see y'all getting a lot of land, a lot of property over here. Hey, listen, Thomas, I got $5 for you. You know what I'm saying? If you could just write me down as a Native American, you know what I'm saying? And you can get yourself. I got I get this $5 for you. So what a lot of the white people started to do when they realized that land was given out to people who qualified and who was on the Dawes Rolls, what they did was they went to the people who ran it, because it was all white people. They went to them and they just gave them $5 so they can have their names on the Dawes Roll so they can get a lot of that land. All right. So this is where the $5 Indian came from. And because of the fact that a lot of these Native Americans, the black ones, a lot of these black Indians were not listed as just straight up Indian. Now, at the time when they were doing that, blood quantum wasn't even a thing. This happened in the 1800s. They didn't have advanced laboratories with DNA tests like that. They didn't do that. They just went off how you looked. And they were saying, well, you look too Negro to be a native. So you must be a slave of a native. And because you're a Indian freedman, because you're not a full Indian, you don't get the full rights, which allowed the tribes to kick out a lot of the black natives. So you would just get your paperwork removed and we would just get pushed out of those tribes. So that's what was going on. So when we say that, there is history to that. The black Indians were forced out of the tribes and forced out of the classifications of being Native Americans, and it allowed white people to claim to be native, which is why you got a lot of people who look like Justin Timberlake and who look like Jack Harlow claiming to be native. You got people who look like this guy right here claiming that their grandma was native, claiming that they're native. All right. And if we claim that we're native, it's because we just hate Africa and we hate where we're really from. We don't love ourselves. And our grandma was a liar because she didn't want to be an African. All right. So this is where the $5 Indians came from. And I want you guys to pay very close attention to this fact. These people who are mad, that dude who was mad at us for claiming to be native, he has a whole page dedicated to us not being native. But he's not mad at the $5 Indians for claiming to be native. I just want y'all to understand this. When we claim that we were a part of these tribes, that we were indigenous, when we claim that, it's a flood of people like, no, you are not a Native American. You are from Africa. Stop saying you're from anywhere but Africa. We can't claim that we're from anywhere but Africa. Now, earlier in this live stream, I already established that there were African slaves that came from Africa to America. There were enslaved African people who came from the continent to America, to Virginia, to North America, and to South America. I established that. I'm not trying to deny that. There are some people all like slavery, the Middle Passage didn't happen at all. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if we actually like look at the logistics of it and we actually study the Middle Passage, you can clearly tell that, okay, clearly it must have been a lot of us here. There was clearly, and if you look at most of the older pictures, the old first pictures that they have of Native Americans or Indians, they all had very dark skin. They did have that hair texture that a lot of them still have, the high cheekbones and the straighter nose. So they did have the phenotype, but the skin, the melanin in the skin was very dark. Some of the noses were wider, okay? Some of the hair was a little bit kinkier as well too. And then when you look at some of the evidence, like I said, when you look at Lucia woman, and you can clearly tell this is a black woman right here, a black person. And then you can look at some of the statues, you can clearly tell, well, there were Negro people here on this land. That's the only way that it makes sense that you would have statues that look like this. But no, it's not what happened. All right. So continuing with the video here.
Many freedmen were of mixed Cherokee and African blood, but on the rolls they were listed with no Indian blood. Last month, it all went to federal court.
I was restored as a member of the Cherokee Nation.
A settlement has let the freedmen back into the tribe for now. The descendants can vote in the election for the Cherokee chief, but there's no guarantee that they'll get to stay in the tribe. Reporting for In America, Soledad O'Brien, CNN.
Okay, so we're having this, right? And I want us to understand what happened is a lot of the Europeans, they came over here and then they said, you know what? Okay, all of the darker people who can't, assimilate to the Anglo-European, the Anglo-Americans, all of them, we're just going to put all of them on the plantation. So whether you were native, because they absolutely wiped off a lot of natives. They absolutely did. Whether you were native or not, we're going to put you on the plantation. Okay. So whether they brought you here from Africa or whether you were native, if you looked at a certain percent of blackness, if your skin was a dark level, okay, if you had a certain amount of melanin, you were on the plantation. And that happened for centuries, which is why we have families. And back in the times of slavery, we had marriages and families, and the whole family was slaves. Everybody. And when I say everybody, I do quite literally mean everybody. I want y'all to look at this. I mean, this is the whole family right here. You see the father, the mother, and then you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children, young children. And they're outside in the fields picking cotton. And I want you to take a good look at this image too. The whole family, when we have these movies of slavery, they make it seem like it was an old man or an old woman. No, look at the kids. Those are kids with cotton in their hands. When the slave master made the slaves get up and go outside in the cotton fields and pick cotton, all of the slaves did that. The children too. They were not exempt. Every single last one of them had to go outside and pick cotton and build America, build the infrastructure, build the economy, build the politics, which is why we don't play. I want you to look at this image very closely and think to yourself, this is why we do not play when it comes to reparations. This right here, this sin right here, this unpaid labor that they made children do, this is why we crusade so hard for our reparations, which is why we not taking America don't have that much money. It happened so long ago. Get over it. Stop living in the past. This is why we don't accept those things. We don't accept those excuses. We're not playing these games. We have to understand this. And if we're going to have a serious conversation about reparations, we need to have serious conversations about history. We need to know it. So when you have $5 Indians like this guy over here, who's sitting
You
up here
guys,
saying,
they're saying we're learning from them.
who's saying we're native and we get Ebonics from Africa, which is not, we don't get Ebonics from Africa. They learn it from us. But when you have people like this, in order for us to be the powerful people, we need to avenge our ancestors. We need to know our history. We need to know the fact that there were black people who were married. They fully have Native American blood in them. A lot of them were Native American. They were just enslaved. But you had that, and it was locked in all the way pretty much up until the Native American, the 5 civilized tribes, they started flipping and they started adopting the colonizer mindset and started enslaving black people. And then when the Dawes Rolls came out, they only allowed the non-black looking Indians to be in. And if you were, they said, okay, you're a freedman of them, which means you're a slave, which means you have no DNA ties to that society. You have no DNA ties to Indian at all. So we have to understand this and we have to know this. But just keep in mind, I just want you to keep this in mind. They don't ever say that about the natives. I mean, about the $5 Indians. All of the smoke you hear, all of it, you hear that, and you hear that from us. For us. You hear that for us. You don't hear that for the $5 Indians. You don't. This dude look Irish. This dude look Italian. No, Irish. I would say Irish. They do the red hair thing. You look Irish. And they don't get no smoke for them. And they can claim Native American, get on the tribes, participate in all of the benefits, all they want to. And they don't got no smoke for them at all. So we got to understand this. All right. Let me get to the super chat real fast. All right. It says, boy, these invoices is killing the game. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Tell it like it is since the super chat. I can hear the chickens roosting. Yep. Oh, yeah. I guess that means these tribes owe too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. Cut them casino checks. Hey, I like that. I like that. So when we talk about reparations and they say, okay, well, we want you to get your reparations, but we want our land back. Oh, whoa. Because they say our land as if we're not also owed this land too, as if we were not also a part of these tribes too. And every time we say, okay, well, we were a part of these tribes, they go to the Dawes Rolls, and these people don't have to really, they didn't have to prove that they had a DNA percentage. They just had to look a certain way or pay enough money to get put onto the Dawes Rolls. That's how the white people did it. But if your skin was too dark, you were not an Indian, according to the white people operating the Dawes Rolls. All right. So with that, that created a loophole for us to get pushed out of all of these tribes. So now when you say, and then society said that we were from Africa, then next thing you know, you had Jesse Jackson come up with the term African American. So then we're all from Africa. All of us came from Africa. Every single last one of us. And I'm not denying that slavery happened or the Middle Passage happened. I'm not denying that there were a number of us that came from Africa. I'm not denying that at all. But they said 100% of you Negro people came from the slave ships. Now, one of y'all was here beforehand. All of y'all came from the slave ships. And if you guys deny it, you guys just hate Africa. That's the thing. That's what it was. So with that socialization, any black person thus forth who claimed anything to do with Indian, it was, oh, your grandma told you that, didn't she? I'm sure it was your grandma who told you you was Indian. I'm sure. Where's your paperwork, sir? Where's your tribe? Where's your blood? Do your blood. You're from Africa. That's what they would do. All right. Now, because a lot of black people now are doing our genealogy, and we're tracing through marriage certificates, birth certificates, death certificates, land that was owned, that we had documentation of that. A lot of black people are saying, hey, you know what? We are a part of these tribes. We were documented a part of these tribes. Now, they revoked our citizenship from these tribes years and years and years ago. But when you go farther back, you can see you were a part of these tribes. And I want you to understand there was a lot of tribes that were here during the times of slavery. The only tribes that we know of now are the 5 civilized tribes, and those are the tribes that the Europeans pretty much verified. These are the verified tribes from the Europeans, and they only verified those tribes if they fit the criteria according to what the Anglo-Americans said. So you couldn't be a 5 civilized tribes if you didn't allow white people to marry you, okay, to be a part of the treaties and stuff. You couldn't be a 5 civilized tribes if you weren't slave catchers, if you didn't own slaves, if you didn't speak English, if you didn't eat what they ate. So you would have to assimilate to the European culture in order to be 5 civilized tribes. A lot of tribes didn't do that, and they were wiped out. So that's why you only have 5 instead of all of the tribes that were here beforehand. All right. So we have to understand this history. Now, I wanted to get this out early because I didn't get a chance to do this last time, but I definitely want to do this time. I want to ask you guys this question. Do you guys want to call in so we can have a conversation about this? If you guys do, I appreciate you guys. If y'all do, put the phone number emoji in the chat room, because I think this history is really deep, and we really gonna have to break this down, and we really gotta stop this gaslighting that is done. We got a lot of people gaslighting us when we claim to be indigenous. It's important that we do, because when we do that, hold on, I'm trying to pull this thing up. When we do that, it also helps as well when it comes to the our reparations claim. Let me pull this one clip up. Okay, this is a clip. Where is it? All right, right here. Let me show it to you guys. This is a clip of one of our master teachers. This is a clip of our ancestor, Malcolm X, claiming that we are aboriginal to this land. He used the term aborigine. Why is the laptop acting all slow like this? Oh, that's because I pressed the wrong button. That's why. All right, look at this.
Oh. You never find a white aborigine. Rather, aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine. You want to be called an American.
Now you hear
aborigine actually means from the beginning. 2 Latin words. Ab meaning from, origine meaning the beginning. Aborigine, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Rather, aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called aborigine. You want to be called an American.
Okay. And this is the thing, when people dig up, go anywhere in the world, and they dig up and they do their research on who is there first, you would see dark-skinned people, aboriginal people. We are the aboriginal people of everywhere. All right. We're the first people of everywhere. All right. We are the first people. So we were the first people here. This is what the science is saying. Now, we have science to back up the fact that we were here before everybody else. We have science to do that. We set the call-ins up. We might not be on that long. I got a lot of videos I got to edit up. I got a lot of stuff. I'm almost done. I got some stuff I just got to finish up. You know, I can be a perfectionist sometimes, but I got some stuff I got to finish up. So I don't think we're going to be on that long, but I want to get y'all opinion on this, because unfortunately, we don't have a lot of channels. We don't have a lot of platforms that allow us to speak on our Aboriginal history and our Aboriginal ties to this land. And I want to give everybody the opportunity to do so. So let me set this up. The number is on the screen right now. The number is 949 381 0044. 949 381 0044. All right. So let's talk about it. Because there are some people I saw in the chat room and they was all like, no, you're not Native American. Why does FBAs want to be Native American so bad? No. And here's the thing. And you guys should definitely, if you want more history, definitely get the movie American Maroon. That's one of Tariq's latest movies. After that, it's microphone check. We get this, the Blu-ray of it. Or I think you can watch on FBA streaming too. But the reason why it's so important is because of the fact that when we make claims about reparations, what they keep trying to do is say African descendants, and they keep trying to say that we're the same as in immigrants. We're not the same as immigrants at all. So this is stamping our claim in this soil. Let's get to, we got some, let me see. Caller, we got a caller on the line. Caller from area code 720. You're online. What is your name and where you calling from? Yeah, I hear you, brother. Oh, hold on. Is there no? Oh, my bad. There's no sound. My bad. Start over again. I didn't press the right button.
Okay.
So it was muted.
Okay.
Start over again.
Okay. This is Sam Crewman, Jesse Paris out of Denver, Colorado. B1 salute to you, Afro Elite, and everybody in the chat.
Y'all hear him now, right?
I was
He's good now, right?
to,
He's good now, right? Okay, y'all good. My bad. That was my fault, y'all. That's my fault. Keep going.
Okay, I was calling to expand on this conversation about First People. What kills me about these Pan-Africanists or these scam Africanists is they say that we were the first people here and on every landmass, on every seven of the continents, right? But then they exclude North America. They say, no, you weren't here already, even though we have plenty of scholarship, plenty of evidence from so-called Afrocentric authors and teachers, such as Runoko Rashidi, who I had the pleasure of meeting before he passed away in 2020. Ivan Van Sertima, they came before Columbus. There's more than that, but just to name a few things, right? So we have the evidence, we have the empirical evidence, but they still say, no, you just hate Africa. You don't want to have nothing to do with Africa. No, we just acknowledging that we had a presence here. We were here before a raping, slave and trading pedophile by the name of Christopher Cologne arrived in this part of the world. They said that they discovered us. No, you didn't discover nothing. We were already here. We had already been here for thousands of years. So I think the big problem is people are having is with the nationality and the fact that we can't trace ourselves to these indigenous tribes. I actually had a so-called $5 Indian ask me, hey, what tribe do you belong to? And are you part of one of the 150 federally recognized tribes? And I was like, I think I'm Blackfoot. You know, I keep hearing that my grandmother was part Blackfoot, but I never did in-depth research on it. Because I was just told, we black. We just black. That's just who we are. We're black people. And but my mom would be like, yeah, your grandma has some indigenous blood in her, because you could tell by her phenotype, like she was very jet black. Like phenotype is very jet black, but she didn't have straight black hair. She had nappy Africoid forced hair.
Mm-hmm.
So they tell us, we're trying to blackwash their history. No, y'all are trying to continue to whitewash history and tell us, like the Caucasian told us, oh, y'all all just came from Africa. Y'all all just need to go back to Africa, to take the focus off of this is our land right here as well.
Yep.
If you're going to claim the whole planet, right, and don't pick and choose which part of the planet you want to claim. If you're going to claim it, the whole planet, then claim it all. So if we are the original people in Africa, the original people in Asia, the original people in Europe, the original people in Australia, then why would it be any different for the Americas? So that's all I have to say. Appreciate the work that you do. Stay blessed, stay dangerous, keep our heads on the swivel, and check us out on Frontline Black News.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. B1. And see, that's what I was saying too. When we claim that we're Aboriginal to anywhere else in the world, we would have to go sail through ships and all of that stuff. When we claim that we're Aboriginal anywhere and everywhere else in the world, that's never a problem. The only time, and I literally do mean the only time claiming to be Aboriginal is an issue, is the Americas. Now, the Siberian people, which is what he is, this guy right here, okay, this $5 Indian dude, when he claims to be Aboriginal, that's not an issue. That's not an issue when he claims to be Aboriginal, even though he don't look at all. When you look at the pictures of older Aboriginal people, when you look at the skin tones of older Aboriginal people, you can tell he's been watered down. He's been whitewashed, and that's never been an issue. That's not a problem. It's only a problem when we say that. That's the only time you ever see it's a problem. Let's get back to the calls, okay? Let's get back to the calls, all right? Let's get it. We got next caller from... press the button, man. Come on, man. Press the button. Caller from area code 808. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is No Limit Rich, and I'm calling from the Bay Area.
Okay, what's on your mind, sister?
And I wanted to let you know that I've seen some, I got sent, and I've seen it, reparations march in Hollywood, California, on Highland and Hollywood, on February 16th at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a peaceful march for reparations. All people come out and support us, FBAs. We trying to get our reparations. We're not going to get it if we fight, and if we tear up stuff. We got to be peaceful so they can understand that we are serious about our reparations in cash payments.
Okay.
And that's really all I wanted to say. And you are doing a great job. Keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? All power to the people. Huey P. Newton. And yeah, it's gonna happen because we're gonna make it happen. If we stick together, that force, we the original ones, man. And the force we got, the melanin we got, oh yeah, they can't mess with us. So if we stick together, I ain't gonna tell you who my father is, but if we stick together, all power to the people, we will unite. So let's do it and fight for our rights. And we ain't trying to stand down. We're trying to stand strong and stand tall through it all. No matter what things we have to go through. The trials, the tribulations, and whatever they got to go, the deliberations that they're going to give us. but we want the deliberations to be reparations. We ain't worried about no propaganda, no hypocrisy, no democracy, and all we want is what we was told we was gonna get, and that is our 40 acres and our mule, and in today's time, in cash payment. Everything else is obsolete, and that's all I want to say. Black, you doing such a good job. How's it going in Chicago?
Well, as far as the deportation thing, which is something I have to talk about, I was seeing on the news earlier that now, and when I said, what was that? That wasn't my last broadcast. Brandon Johnson is now in much bigger trouble because now the Department of Justice is now trying to pretty much persecute everybody in Chicago, Cook County, Chicago, pretty much everybody for sanctuary city. So they really cracking down on the sanctuary city stuff. That's probably going to be over with pretty soon. ICE is really cracking down on all of the.
I've seen it. I watched your show when you were showing that, and that's why I asked the question on how it was going. But stay on it though, because you got to stay on it because we don't have nobody. We don't have no leaders. We don't have they sending everybody back to somewhere. We ain't got nowhere to be sent back to. This is our home.
Yeah.
Period. And I'm gone. I love you. Peace.
Peace, sister. You have a good one. Y'all heard her earlier about the California reparations thing, so we need our California family to show up and represent. Shout out to her for letting us know that. Caller from area code 874. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace and blessings. Peace after reparations. And this is 347 New York. Okay. Basically, I'm proud of the fact that yourself, Afro Elite, Black Alpha, Tariq Nasheed, and different ones have really spearheaded the next stage of liberation for our people. As far as foundational Black Americans are concerned, I totally support that. Basically on my mother's side, go back to South Carolina. My great-grandfather was 11 years old when slavery ended. I'm over 60. He basically saw his cousin lynched and castrated in front of his eyes. That's in South Carolina, Aiken County. He migrated with his, my grandmother was the youngest of 10. And back in 1921, he migrated the whole family because of the Ku Klux Klan to what ended up becoming Queens, New York. That's back in 1921, 1922. Okay. I would like to say that, recommend a book by Dr. Amos N. Wilson, who I was privileged to attend many of his lectures when he was alive. His masterpiece is Blueprint for Black Power. I think that every foundational Black American household, even if you're homeless, still have that book. It's almost 1,000 pages, but basically, if you have the Bible, you have the Quran, you also need the Blueprint for Black Power by Dr. Amos Wilson. I know I'm wordy and I'm just going on and on. I just want to share this. Back in 1909, there was a white dude named, he worked for the Smithsonian. He was some type of archaeologist, anthropologist. His name was G.E. Kincaid. They basically tried to erase, they ended up bumping him off. Why did they bump him off? Because in the early 1900s, he discovered in Arizona, the Grand Canyon, caves. When he went into these caves and everything like that, it was hollowed out. There were huge caves, and he found Kemetic, what would be considered Kemetic artifacts, sculptures, and things similar to in Kemet or Egypt. Now, understand this is going back thousands of years. So when he went back to Smithsonian Institute to report his findings, he had a little evidence, so they sent him with a team, and he went back again. After they discovered and everything like that, he disappeared. And there was only one article in the Arizona Gazette that shows that he was even connected to the Smithsonian, because the Smithsonian basically scrubbed most of the evidence that he ever existed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do that.
Okay. And the only reason why I'm bringing all that up is because that shows that we as a people, yes, are indigenous to what is Turtle Island or North America, United States, and we were already here, and there was different cultures, different civilizations that go back and go back. I'm talking about dwellings that were like apartments that we actually built way back when, before the United States of America was even in existence, before the Pilgrims, so on and so forth. So I'm just sharing that to say that our greatness, as well as our failings at times, is enormous and massive. That's why I say peace after reparations. And I'm proud of you. And keep up the good work.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That's some pretty powerful information. That's some very powerful information. Thank you.
Peace after liberation.
Yes. All right. You got some powerful calls so far. Caller from area code 657. You're on live. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Afro Elite? And this is Demetrius from LA.
Demetrius, what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah. I want to, speak on the origins of the land. Pretty much, you got different shades of black people, and I'm looking at you and I look at me. We're kind of similar complexions, and then you have a little lighter complexion than that. But in contrary to all that, there was indigenous tribes here, and then you had red Indian tribes there. The black Indian tribes and the red Indian tribes, they were, one was on out west and one was like, mainly in the south. And every time those tribes interacted, some of those tribes didn't get along with each other. So, when the slave ships came in, right? And then the so-called, dominant society pilgrims came in, right? They conquered the red Indians, and they had got major pushback from basically the black Indians, the black indigenous Indians, right? So what you have is, since you got pushback from the black Indians, the red Indians kind of like, say, okay, we didn't, they didn't conquer us, but we gonna make a side deal with the Europeans, right? Since they, marginalizing the black and indigenous people, and then they double back and just say, the hell with both of you guys as tribes. We just gonna just label all you niggas are enslaved Negroes, and that's what other groups and ethnic groups don't understand. They keep continuing to kiss the dominant society's ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it never ends well for them. The dominant society always goes back and bites them in the ass. And the dominant society, no, we're never going to kiss their ass no matter what. You have your sellouts and your boulets or whatnot, and then you got the ones that you kiss asses, because they dating outside of the culture or whatever, and that's okay. But at the same time, they know they're going to receive major pushback from us. You understand what I'm saying? And they know if they can Africanize us, right? That, they can just put one big Negro up and say, hey, all you guys are from Africa, and if you guys are asking for stuff politically, hey, look, man, you guys can just go back to Africa and and get resources there. No. They know. That's why Dr. Claude Anderson is such a genius, and we need to honor him like we honor King and we honor Malcolm X, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes this time to go meet the Lord. You understand? Because he put everybody on code and he gave us the blueprint to just focus on lineage-based programs and benefits for us politically. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say, Afro Elite, man. Be one in reparations.
Be one, brother. Thank you very much for your call. Now we're going to get to the next caller. So y'all know I'm gonna probably wrap it up a little soon. We're not gonna do too long tonight. So y'all want to call in kind of early. All right. The next caller, let's
Yes,
see,
sir.
caller from area code 945. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Dominique, hey, F1B1, yeah, FBA B1. I just want to call and say, hey, I respect and love y'all for this movement, man. You know what I'm saying? It is like I'm 40, and I'm like, this is the first time I've seen us unify and under a banner that actually makes sense. Not no African American and all that. It's us defining us. It's us doing this for us, and I'm like really proud of y'all. Like this right here is something I actually like am behind. But for the rest of this, like origin things, it don't matter as long as we FBA and we all one, we fam. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say like we don't have to do all this. Where it is, it's FBA, front line and center. That's it. Either you are or you not.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I don't really make arguments about, because some people say 50% came from the slave ships. Some people say that 50% were here, all of us were here, most of us were here, most of us came from the slave ships. And because of all of what was going on during that time, then you also had breeding farms. You know what I'm saying? And so there was a lot going on during that time. So I don't really like to argue, but I do like to understand the true. We do have to understand the true history. But as far as how many of us came from the slave ships or how many of us were enslaved from this land originally, at the end of the day, we was on those plantations. That's one thing we can all agree on, and that's one thing we can all get behind. We all deserve reparations. If you can prove
and I don't want to cut you off or nothing like that, but I want to say this before I get off here because I respect you too much, Black Alpha. Hey man, I love you, man, for real. But I want to say this: FBA ain't just I'm from over here, over there. FBA is a logic as well. Your logic tell us a lot about you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can look like us, but your logic tell us way more about you than how you look. That's what FBA is. You feel me? It's a logic. We all are coming together on this banner saying, hey, we know who we are. And anybody that's anti-black or anything like that, your logic speaks for you. We ain't got to know. You can look like us, Jamaican, Haitian, all that. You can look like us, but at the end of the day, your logic tells us everything about you. That's real FBA. That's B1. And I love y'all. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, brother. I mean, let me clear that out, because I feel where he was coming from. But let me just specify this, okay? Foundation Black American is a lineage. All right. That's what it is. Okay. It's a lineage. But as far as what he was talking about, I believe what he was saying is like the mentality, because certain lineages of people have certain beliefs, certain cultures, and certain mentality. All right. So as far as being on code and as far as Black empowerment, Foundation Black Americans do have a certain mentality and belief to it. But as far as what Foundation Black American means, that is just the lineage, So we're just speaking on the lineage when we say FBA. Now we can say like thinking like an FBA or acting like an FBA and all of that stuff. That's when we talk about the characteristics, the culture, the mentality, the behavior. That's what we mean when we say that stuff. But as far as the lineage concern, it's just the lineage. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people, and I have heard that report as well, too, that it was only like, I'm hearing 3 to 5%. If you look at the picture of the Middle Passage, if you look at this, when you go to museums, and I've been to museums about it before, when you go to the museums about it, you'll find that most of the enslaved Africans did come from or did go to South America. A lot of them who went there, and then what they're saying, what the documents say, is only about 5%. Now, some will say a little bit more. Some will say it was about 50%, 10% or whatever. But when they say that, they're only saying that's how many enslaved Africans were bought from that country to another. they're not calculating how many were already here. So that's why a lot of people like to argue, well, there weren't those many of us here before the 1619 slave trade. So a large amount of us, even if it was a small percentage of the entire slave trade, most of the people here come from the slave trade, you know. And then people would like to argue, no, there was a lot of us here. So it's a lot of kind of arguing, and there's arguments that can be made on both sides. My stance is, when you kind of look at the documentation, when you look at the logistics of it, when you look at what is most likely, not 100%, but what is most likely. Oh, let me put the number back up. We're only gonna be here for, I'm gonna do the number for like should I I'm gonna do it for a little bit longer. But what is most likely to be accurate and feasible, most likely it would be, there was a lot of Black Indians here prior to 1619, and then when they started bringing slaves from Africa to South America, and they also started bringing them to North America, Virginia, then they started, you know, every so often they would bring some to North America, even though most of them would come to South America. But they enslaved and colonized the Black Indians that were already here. Just logistically, you know, that's how it would make the most sense playing out, you know. And from my research, that's what makes the most sense. But let's get to the other caller from area code 267. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Afro, this is Curtis, calling from Philly.
Curtis, what's on your mind, brother?
Hey, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good, man. You know, keep up the good work, brother. Now I just wanted to say, right, I keep telling you that, you know, because I'm 64 years old, right, and I could remember asking my mom, right, when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I used to ask my mom, you know, who am I? And my mom would always say, boy, you are Indian. And I didn't really understand at that age still. But, you know, because I never, you know, really acknowledged that I was African, because I only, you know, like I said, I'm 64 years old, and I only had one dashiki in my whole entire life, man, because I always knew who I was, man, and who my people come from and stuff like that. Because like I said, I got pictures of my father. As a matter of fact, if you look at my logo, Curtis Price, that's my mother's father that was born in 1800, and he's from West Virginia. I got pictures of my mother's mother, Mabel, and she was born in 1900, and she was born in Chester, Pennsylvania. And I got pictures of my father's father that was born in the 1800s, and my mother's mother that was born in 1908. You understand? So I know who I am, brother. You understand? I never acknowledged that I was African, man. But I just want to say, man, I'm so happy, man, that we got young, strong brothers and sisters, man, like you, brother, like Black Alpha, man, like Tariq, Vicky Dillon, man. Just keep up the good work, brother, because the truth will always set you free, brother. Okay, man. Yes, you know, you got people. We want y'all to come to Philadelphia, man, for that reparation, brother, because I would love to meet you, you know, man, my wife, man. You understand? But like I said, man, you know, God bless you, you know, Afro Elite, man, and keep up the good work, brother. Okay.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate your support. I really do. I appreciate all of y'all's support. I really do. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate your call, brother. Right. I do need to come to Philly. Okay. I do need to come to Philly soon.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I'll let y'all know. I'll give an announcement before I get there. But thank you, Curtis. All right. Not sure. Let me see. Well, I don't know if we should, but I'm gonna see what's going on because you keep calling. What's on your mind, caller? Called in privately or anonymously.
Yeah, how you doing, Afro Elite? This is Black. I spoke to you last year, you and Black Alpha Network and the other girl you had.
Where you from, Black?
Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
Born and bred in Maryland. Born and bred in Maryland.
Okay. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Last year I talked to you about you guys, you and Black Alpha Network should vote for Trump. You guys obviously said, nah, no tangibles, vote the couch. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Trump won. I noticed that you and Black Alpha Network damn sure got Trump nutsacks in your mouth. You're bragging about him. You're bragging about the white man, Hoffman deportation. I noticed how both you channels have transitioned from tangibles to, kissing the white man, praising the white man. The same white man I told you to vote for. Your whole channel transitioned to that.
Okay. Yo, we got a Kamala supporter on the phone.
Hang on. Let me, Apple, I want to say I respect you. I honor
Really?
you.
Do you respect me, really?
And I
You just said I got the white man's nuts in my mouth. Really respect me?
No, hang on. That was rhetoric. I love you, brother.
Okay.
Let's
just listen to
and
him,
I want to say the same thing to Black Alpha Network.
Hang
on. I just want to say, I want to establish, I love you, brother. We both come from slavery. I just wanted to just let you know, you guys clowned me a year ago, and I thought it was funny when you kicked me off and Black Alpha Network had the tissue and like, yeah. But, I see you guys came around and see things my way.
No. Before you go, you voted for Kamala, didn't you?
No, I told you. I called you a year ago.
No.
I admonished you.
I remember when you called me.
Oh,
Biden was still running when you called me. Biden hadn't dropped out yet.
Yeah.
So
yes, and I admonished you for not voting for Trump.
Calm down. I'll let you speak. Did you vote for Kamala?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. No, I voted for. Why would I tell you to vote for Trump? Go back and listen to that conversation.
Can you comprehend my question? Biden was still running when you called me the first time. I remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He had dropped out. Then Kamala started running. So I'm asking, did you vote for Kamala? Yes or no?
No, I voted for Trump.
So you voted for
why
Trump.
The hell would I vote for?
Oh, so why?
Okay.
So why are you upset with me about Trump then?
No, I'm not upset. I just think it's interesting.
What's interesting?
That you and Black Alpha Network said you're going to vote the couch, and that's fine. But Trump won, and now you guys are bragging about Trump winning, even though you had nothing to do with it. Like you're claiming somebody else's victory.
No, we're bragging. Elaborate how we're bragging about Trump.
Oh, easy. All your live streams. Oh, man, look at the Mexicans being deported. Look at the Mexicans begging us. Look at you guys had nothing to do with it. The white man won it, actually, and the Latinos chipped in. So you guys are claiming other people's glory because you sat on the couch.
No. We're not claiming nobody. And I remember the call. The fact that we
love you, bro.
Sir, Black, be quiet, dude. The fact that we voted for the couch and we talked about that, you can ask your friend Roland Martin. You can ask Roland Martin, another tether. You can ask him about it. You understand?
Hang on, don't call me a tether, man. I just said from slaves.
Voting.
Yeah, but you can't say shit like that.
According to the Democrats now, they're starting to concede, sir, that voting for the couch, the Foundation of Black Americans voting for the couch as such a high percentage is why she didn't win any of the swing states. She didn't win Philadelphia. She didn't win Detroit. She didn't win Atlanta. She didn't win the states. I mean, Georgia. She didn't win Wisconsin. She didn't win Michigan. She didn't win Pennsylvania. She didn't win any of the swing states because of the couch. This is what all of the Democrats are saying now. So while you say we didn't have anything to do with it, yes, we did. Because if we were out there and we preached and we voted, she would have won. She didn't win because the couch won. Donald Trump won by proxy of the couch. All right. So let me ask you, why did you vote for Donald Trump? What did Donald Trump do?
Easy. And I want to respond because hang on. Everything you just said is wrong, but I'm going to answer your question now. You just presented me with a question.
I've already shown
No. It's mathematically wrong, everything you just said, but let's continue.
What is mathematically wrong? She didn't win any of the swing states? Which swing states did she win?
Because FBAs are only 1 out of 10 voters in America. 1 out of 10 voters. Latinos
FBAs, dude, this is why you're not that bright. FBAs control the swing states, which is what she needed in order to win. Because we did not vote for her, that's why she didn't win the swing states. If she won the swing states, she would have won. The race was up to the swing states. Foundational Black Americans are populated in the swing states. We control, based off of our voting percentage, who wins and who doesn't win that swing state. Are you new? Are you new to this? Do you not understand this?
Hey, well, go ahead. I'll let you speak and let me know when I can speak.
Yeah, I'm
because you're wrong again. But
yeah,
I'm going to shut up and go ahead.
Earlier, now we having a class now. Foundational Black Americans, the Foundation Black Americans in Atlanta, in Georgia, and in Philadelphia, which is Pennsylvania, in Detroit, and Milwaukee, okay, which is in that's not in Detroit and Milwaukee, right? And then you have Wisconsin. The Foundational Black Americans, we are the people who control the swing states. So if we vote in high percentage, the Carolinas, Wisconsin, thank you. The Carolinas, if we vote in high percentage, then the Democrats are going to win. If we don't turn out, if we vote for the couch, then the Republicans are going to win. All right. So it depends on what we do. Who wins is dependent upon what we do. Since we were saying we were going to vote for the couch, we already knew that that was going to increase the likelihood of Trump winning. We just said we are not going to vote for somebody who's not going to do anything for us. Trump still had to earn the black vote. He still had to deserve it. Just because he was better than Kamala doesn't mean he deserves it from us. That's what we were saying. But we did control, even if we're not the biggest population, and you're saying Foundation Black Americans, we make up a large percentage of the voting bloc. We're very important voters. We're literally the nation's most important voter bloc. Foundational Black Americans are. All data and all surveys and all statistics verify that. Which is why Kamala was out here. Which is why Kamala was out here with celebrities. Which is why she was out here going to rallies. Which is why she was doing concerts. Which is why she came out with Obama and he was wagging his fingers. That's why they were doing that to black people, because we were the most detrimental voting bloc that was going to determine whether she succeeded or failed. She did not win our vote, which is why she failed. It was us. And let me ask you this. I want y'all to understand.
Let me know when I can speak.
Sir, hold on.
Let me know.
Sir, be quiet.
It's your platform.
Black, hold on. Does it make sense, y'all? Does it make sense that he's calling and because remember when he called before, he was mad that we weren't going to vote for Trump. If we make such a small little percentage, why does it matter if we vote for Trump or not? If Foundation Black Americans make 1/10 of the voting bloc, why does it matter if we vote for Trump or not? Why would that matter? If what I'm saying isn't true, we don't control the swing states.
Are you asking me a question, or are you still pontificating?
Why did it matter?
Because it's your platform. It's your platform. So let me know when I can speak, because I respect you, brother. I respect you.
All right,
so let me know when I can speak. Okay, the question is, why did the Democrat Party make such a fuss? If you guys only represent it?
No, the question is, you said Foundational Black Americans only make 1/10 of the voting bloc. I'm assuming you mean national.
Yes.
If we only make 1/10, if we only make 1/10 of the national voting bloc, why does it matter? Why were you calling in fussing about us not voting for Trump? If you're saying us not voting, that doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, that's the easy one. No one realized that Latinos were going to show up and show out like they did, right? They came out in damn near record numbers. The reason why I admonish you and Black Alpha Network. You asked me a question, 3 questions. You asked me so many questions, but you said, why did I want you guys to vote for Trump? Well, yeah, I'm going to answer that. I just want to answer what you asked me like 5 questions ago. Why did I want you guys to vote for Trump? I told you on that live stream. He's going to close the border. He's going to mass deportate, which you guys love, and he's going to take away birthright citizenship. And that's going to make us shine. So those are the three reasons I told you a year ago, and now you guys are on everything I said. Now you guys are all on it. Now, you said something else. Listen to me. You named all those swing states, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still listening? Okay. This is where you lack knowledge. In every one of those states, you know who the dominant voting bloc is? It's not FBAs. I'm talking about Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Illinois, whatever. The dominant voting bloc are white people. That's why the headline said the next day that white woman determined the outcome, not FBAs. White woman damned Kamala, and white woman gave Trump the trophy. Look at the New York Times headlines. It was white women, white people.
White women. Okay.
You don't,
So
let me
that
ask
goes
you,
back to my question. And that goes back to my question. Because if it was white women and we don't matter, if we didn't matter, why were you fussing that we weren't voting for Trump? Because you called in snapping, going off, that we weren't going to vote for Trump.
Snapping.
So what? Yeah, you were.
Brother.
Yes, you were,
fun.
dude. Yes, you were. You was going off, cursing, snapping, screaming, hollering.
No, after you called me a butter biscuit,
and now you're saying our vote didn't matter. It wouldn't matter if we did or didn't.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, and I want to establish this. I respect you, man. I love you. And you and Black Alpha Network love you guys. I want to establish this, that I respect you. It's all love, bro. It's all love. Iron sharpen iron. So I don't want you thinking, oh, this dude's... No, bro. If I saw you and Black Alpha Network in the streets, we would chop it up, go eat dinner, have a laugh, and just go home. You know, so it's all good. Just iron sharpen iron. That's all. Nothing more. Just intellectual vigor. Nothing else, bro. I respect and honor you, bro. Hello?
You have a good day. You have a good day, sir.
No, I got to answer your question.
Can you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to answer your question. Why did I fuss with you guys? That's the easy one. Because white people usually vote to almost a tie. And when white people vote almost to a tie, that's when the FBAs come in and decide the presidency, when white people go almost toe-to-toe. See, if white people decide to vote majoritively either way, FBAs are worthless. They have zero power. But when white people vote to almost a tie, that's where FBA power has always come in to break that tie. And that's why I was concerned that white people are going to go toe-to-toe, and then you guys would come in and ruin Trump's victory. No one realized the Latinos was going to come in and vote so heartily for Trump.
Okay,
so that FBA votes was not needed.
While you're on the phone, let me do this and let me get to some of the other speakers. Let me educate you on
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you, bro. I really do.
On this,
I appreciate you.
So everybody in the audience can understand this. Most of America is really rural, okay? Most of the people who will vote will probably vote Republican. Most of America is pretty much red. The only parts are blue are really the cities, and the cities are very populated, which makes the state blue, like Chicago. A lot of people live in Chicago and in the surrounding area, but really the state is red. New York, California, same thing, okay? Georgia, Atlanta, same thing, all right? So there are different cities that have different voting blocks. Most of that will vote red. Red is going to have a default vote at this level. The white red voters are going to vote at default at this level, all right? The white blue voters are going to vote a default, and their level is going to reach this. So the only thing that makes the blue tie up is the black voters who vote most of the time, a solid percentage, Democrat. So the black voters are going to take the blue vote from this under the red to above the red in these swing states. Because in these swing states, the red overrules over the blue. It's not a 50-50 thing. The blue is always under the red. That's why when the black vote turns out, the blue goes up and it beats red. If it doesn't turn out, then the red vote wins. The Latino population in America is not in these swing states. Most of the Latinos that live in these places, their percentage is not in the swing states enough for them to be the block that determines if the blue succeeds or if it doesn't. That's where we are, because we live in Philadelphia. We live in Detroit. We live in Atlanta. We live in the Carolinas. We live in these places because we live in Wisconsin and all of these things where the vote can go like this. This is why it's a swing state or a battleground state, because what they try to do is energize the black voting bloc to boost that blue vote up so it can overtake the red vote. You understand?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. You're wrong. I'm going to explain to you how you're wrong, but continue and let me know when I can speak.
Sir,
I'm going to show you how you're wrong, but no, just go. It's your platform. What I'm respecting you, bro.
No,
Continue
that's
on.
not wrong. This is what the data shows. This is why Kamala was out here with all of these black celebrities. This is why Obama started getting upset with black men, because you're trying to make it seem like our vote is insignificant, even though you were snapping off before about us not voting. But then you're saying our vote is insignificant now that Trump won. And now you're saying that the white determines the swing states. No, it doesn't. Or the Hispanics. No, they don't. Because the Hispanics, most of the Hispanics voted for Trump the last time. Do you not understand that?
I didn't say Hispanic.
Most of the Hispanics
I didn't say
voted
Hispanic.
for Trump the last time when he was up against Biden, and they didn't win. The reason why Biden won is because the black vote turned out for Biden. The reason why Kamala didn't win is because the black vote did not turn out for Kamala. But the white percentage rate and the Hispanic percentage rate for Trump is damn near the same. His percentage in these numbers, it did drop a little bit for Biden, but his percentage, his first time when he was up against Hillary, his second time when he was up against Biden, and his third time when he was up against Kamala, he had a solid majority of all of those communities. The difference is that the turnout rate in the black community, that is what determined who won the swing states, who won the electoral votes, and who ultimately won the presidency. But we got to get to more callers. Thank you very much for calling.
No, I just want to answer. Let me answer what you just said. Can I just answer what you said?
30 seconds.
Just okay, 30 seconds. Everything you said about the swing states is absolutely, categorically, mathematically wrong. I'll prove it to you right now. Every swing state you just named, the dominant population is white people, not FBAs.
No,
not even close.
Not about.
See you later, brother.
Do you understand?
No, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How the points are counted.
The dominant force in every swing state
sir, stop,
is white
stop.
people.
See, these are idiots.
Not
Sir, if you
FBA.
don't stop, dude. This is why.
Go ahead.
All right, you have a good night.
We're having a conversation, bro. Relax, bro. Relax.
No, you don't get it. You don't get it.
Yes, I respect you, bro.
No,
you're
no,
sweating.
No, you have a good one. All right. Woo! Do y'all remember when he called in the last time, started going off and snapping off? Like, you're not going to vote for Trump? He started snapping off. KKK, he was y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that? Oh, my God. I knew the second I heard his voice, I'm like, oh, that's him again. Oh, that's him. Oh, he's done. And I did that because I want you guys to understand, because they're trying to claim that the couch didn't win. Oh, the couch won. The couch won. Donald Trump won by proxy of the couch. But make no mistake, the couch is what won that election. Let's get to the next caller. All right. Let's get some common sense back in the call lines. All right. Here we go. All right. Caller from area code 405. You're on live. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller from area code 405.
Oh,
yeah, that's you, brother. What's on your mind?
My bad. Hey, bro. Hey, I appreciate what you're doing, fam.
Wait, hold on. What's your name? What's your name and where you calling from?
FBA Judah. I'm calling from Oklahoma City.
What's on your mind?
Who I'm talking to? What the fuck is going on?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking at some. I'm looking at something that I don't know who I'm talking to at this point.
You're talking to Afro Elite. Okay. Well,
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, brother. I'll call back.
it's
I don't know
okay,
what's going
brother.
on there.
All right. Y'all killed me tonight. Oh my god. Y'all funny. All right. Caller from area code 516.
Peace and blessings, Afro Elite. This is Key Prince from Long Island, New York. FBA all day. I
know.
I can't stop laughing at that dude.
It's funny. I'm laughing.
But
Boy.
listen.
Okay. What's on your mind?
I just want to let the family know. Listen, there are some real FBA still here in New York. We're on Long Island. We're all throughout all the 5 boroughs. And you know, that guy, he tore me up. I'm sorry. As far as our FBA lineage goes, it's Black Aboriginal people or the Black Indians and the 3 to 5% of some of the Africans that got brought over here after the slave trade. When it was stopped in 1808 or so, when they outlawed it, that's when they started the breeding farms. So we have our own ethnicity. Okay. My 5-time great grandmother's straight Cherokee all day, every day. So we're Cherokee and Gullah Geechee. We moved from South Carolina up here to New York. Back it was around World War II. My grandmother was a rivet girl in Mitchell Field on Long Island. She put together the planes. And my grandfather, they're both from South Carolina. My grandfather's Aiken. Gullah Geechee, he's from there. So when people try to make us generic Africans, it's not cool. Everybody that's Black in America did not come here on slave ships. That's real talk. And us Black FBAs here on Long Island, we've been overrun by the Hispanics and the Jamaicans and the Haitians and everybody. ICE is here now. That's all I know. I know they showed up with Nassau County, where I'm at, and let it be known that they got detectives working with ICE here on Long Island. So that's some hope going on. It's been real quiet around here. A lot of the lawn companies, they've been MIA. Seen a lot of people getting up out of Dodge, but it's real serious over here. So I'm just saying, I'm ready. We ready for the reparations. We ready for us to continue building and rebuilding our Black Wall Streets, and all of us united across America. We are brothers and sisters. The distant cousins, listen, right now, they're going to have to hold their own. And that last guy that was arguing with you, talking about the Black vote didn't have nothing to do with it. Yes, we definitely had something to do with it, because we didn't vote. I voted the couch in 2020 and 2024. I wasn't voting for either one of them, because both of them, Trump didn't really do nothing bad to us last time, but this time he's helping us out, because they have always used immigration of other countries, peoples against us. It knocks us down, puts us to the bottom, and we're no longer getting the jobs that we used to work. When he said Black jobs, because they're giving it all to the immigrants for lower pay, which knocks us off, and there hasn't been any increases in pay rates for everybody. And turning the middle class just don't. You know what I mean? It's not going to be any more middle class people like we would be considered. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the FBA family. Stand strong, stand on business, and please don't go out there and help them folks, because they don't like us. They don't like us, and they not like us.
That's true. Definitely.
And that's all I got to say.
Thank you so very much, sister. I appreciate your call.
No problem.
All right. Have a good one. All right. We can't, I said we were not going to be on too long. So if everybody can, be short with their comments, about a couple minutes, we'll do that. Caller from area code 719. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Tell it like it is, calling out of California.
Brother, tell it like it is. What's going on?
Man, brother. Who was that dude that was arguing with you a few callers back? What was his name again?
He just said his name was Black. You know, I remember his
Okay.
voice.
So
I remember his voice because I remember having a call in. I remember him calling in before, and this was when we were talking about voting for the couch. This was back when Biden was running, and that when I said that, he was like, "Yeah." So because I remember that call, I remember Biden was still running. This was before the debate and everything, and he was like, "Why don't you guys vote for Trump?" I'm all like, "Yeah, but Trump ain't really talking about nothing like Trump ain't really stumping for black people. He's talking about general policies that we will benefit by proxy about the nation, but we're saying we want specific things because he's giving other groups of people specific things. He's not giving us anything specific. So if he wants us to vote for him, we need something specific, just like he gonna give other people stuff specific." This man started going off. He said, "Oh, our ancestors died for us to have the right to vote. And how can we disrespect them by not voting or voting for the couch?" He started snapping off, cursing out. You could hear his spit through the phone. I was like, damn. So I had to hang up on him. I keep saying he keep calling up, but he always call and then hang up. But I took his call this one time.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I remember that call. I was tuned in on that call when he was snapping out, and he called back again. He janked up the energy so much. The next caller didn't even. He was discombobulated. He didn't even know who the hell he was talking to. Hey, hey, let me be brief as I can about this. I found it. I wasn't gonna call up at first, but I figured I'm gonna call up because I didn't like how he came out talking about how somebody got Trump's nuts in his mouth when he called his snapping out on black FBAs for not voting for Trump. That's number one. And then number two is like, dude, okay, wait a minute. How you gonna sit up here and talk about our vote is insignificant, yet you trying to get us to push Trump over the line? We knew why we wasn't voting for Trump, and we knew why we wasn't voting for Kamala Harris. We knew why we wasn't going to vote for Biden if he was to be able to make it into the next round, which he didn't. But the thing is, the point of the matter is the fact that we chose to stay home because we knew we wasn't going to get anything out of this vote or out of this vote. We knew we wasn't going to get anything out of this election. So the fact that we stayed home, honestly, I think we've proven enough that when we stay home or when we show up, things change.
Yeah.
Like, we completely changed the current of the whole, we changed the whole shit up every time. We've proven that several times. We proved it on once during one of the, I believe it was one of the elections when we voted for Obama. We pushed him over the line twice. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I just don't get how he can call here and be disrespectful and say something like that when he's the one. I mean, you the one with Trump's nuts in your mouth. If anything else, I think that's why he got upset because he don't want to share Trump's nuts in his mouth. That's all that is. So he's trying to say that we. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sitting up there thinking about it, and you making perfect sense. Which is why I was laughing because I was talking to him. I kept getting flashbacks of our last conversation. I kept thinking about how he was going off and snapping off, and every time he thought I was going to hang up on him, he was like, "Oh, wait, I respect you. It's all love. It's all love. I respect you. I respect you." He called in trying to be all like, "Oh, you got Trump's nuts in your mouth. Oh, you bragging about Trump. You bragging about the white man." Now, at first, it took me a minute to remember. I'm all like, okay, this is a Kamala supporter or something like that, trying to say I'm a Trump supporter. But then I remembered the conversation. I'm all like, okay, this dude. And you saw the contradicting because he snapped off that we wasn't going to vote for Trump. And then I said us voting for the couch is what helped him get in. He's all like, no, it doesn't matter. So if our vote is so small and it didn't matter, why do you care if we vote or not? If it ultimately wasn't going to matter.
Right. I mean, and that's what I was saying. When I was listening to him talk, I was getting dizzy, bro, because he was just like, he was going every which way with it. Like, how, you say one thing, but then you turn around and then you unsay it, and then you say it again. Then you want to throw some, I respect you. I respect you. How you gonna respect somebody and you talk about somebody having nuts in their mouth? That ain't that's not respectful to call hell somebody's face talking like that. I mean, and now he want to say that he said that he's wrong. Well, you're wrong because all of the people that's in these swing states, the dominant population is white. That doesn't matter. Numbers are numbers. I mean, even if all the white people voted in those swing states, if the black vote decides they didn't want to turn out, which we just proved, guess what? You're not going to get elected. We're not going to push you through. All you need is for 10% of the black vote to stay home, and that can sway an election. That's it. So I mean, I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know. That dude, man, there's something wrong with his thinking. His wires is crossed. But anyway, I just wanted to land there.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. You absolutely right. This man, he don't get all his marbles.
He must still got nuts in his mouth. I don't know, I guess.
Probably. Yeah. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support.
No problem, bro.
All right. Gonna get to the next caller now. That's our good brother. Tell it like it is. Always supportive. Caller from area code 773. You're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Patrice, and I'm from Chicago.
Patrice, what's on your mind, sister?
Yeah, I was calling because you was talking about the FBAs being Native American, and I remember I'm 62, so I'm kind of old. My grandmother, she had hair down to her behind, and she always said she was Native American. And I wanted to know, how can we get these tethers out of our politics? Because they keep trying to make us generic Africans. And like we're dealing with Brandon Johnson, I do believe he's Haitian. And I'm just trying to figure out, how can we find out who these people really are when they running and spread the word to our FBA family not to vote for these tethers?
Well, the thing is that now what they're going to do is everybody's going to hide it. Everybody knows the type of energy FBA is on. Everybody knows that, as far as coming in from a foreign background, coming in as a tether, everybody knows you getting your paperwork checked. So what they try to do is lie about it and hide it. What we need to do going forward is we need to make sure that people verify, because nowadays people back in the day, they used to say it. Let me go back. They used to say, oh, my dad's from Haiti. My mom's from Jamaica. Da, 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 da. Now they're not saying anything. And they're just implying that they're FBA, which is what Brandon Johnson keeps doing. Brandon Johnson keeps implying that he's FBA. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to prove it. I'm like, okay, you're FBA, verify that. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, especially when it comes to politicians, they got to go through a verification process in order to prove that they're a part of the lineage, because now they're just implying that they are. So a lot of the tethers are up on game that, hey, if I say I'm a foreigner, if I'm saying I'm from Caribbean, or I'm saying I'm from Africa, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be able to get that support. So I'm just not going to say that no more. But it's not enough for them not to admit they're from someplace else. Now they have to prove they're not from someplace else. So we got to go through the paperwork of that, As far as Brandon Johnson is concerned, with the stuff he got going on right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Brandon Johnson might be going to jail soon. That's what it looked like. It looked like Brandon Johnson going to prison.
I hope so. One last question. My mother's side from South Carolina, and my grandmother's from Alabama, the one with the long hair. And what I wanted to know is, with these these red Indians, can we sue them for kicking us off our land too, and be a part of the system? Because if we go into reparations, why can't we go after reparations for them as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of lawsuits going on. If you guys can verify that you guys were kicked out of those tribes or a part of those tribes or anything like that, there are lawsuits that are going to Congress right now. It's thousands of people who are pursuing lawsuits about that. So I think you should do that, because they do owe us. Not only do they owe the freedmen for kicking them out of the treaties and all that stuff, they also owe us because they were participating in the slave trade. You know, when the federal government, when they signed the Fugitive Slave Act, they were getting the red Native Americans to catch us and bring us back to the plantations. So, you know,
Well, I
a
wanted
lot
to
of
thank
them, if we're
y'all.
going to talk about reparations, they would owe as well too. Now we're going for the federal government first, but if we're going to talk about reparations in totality, a lot of them, the 5 civilized tribes, the ones who were slave catchers, the ones who owned slaves, a lot of them owe reparations as well too. But what you can do is you can pursue a lawsuit, and then you can pursue lost damages when it comes to being kicked out of those tribes, because you should be able to benefit from the treaties, the tax exempt status, the land, and all of that stuff. So you can, a lot of
Okay.
people are pursuing lost damages when it comes to that.
Okay. Okay, well, I want to thank y'all because I'm one of the elders, but I appreciate y'all, and I've been waiting a long time for us to get it together. And I want to thank you and Tariq and all y'all, Professor Black Truth, because I appreciate y'all, because I grew up Black Panther, and I'm with y'all every step of the way. So don't think all those old heads are just Democrats and to life. That's a nonsense, because I voted for genocide just to make a protest vote. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate your call.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
That's that Chicago energy. Love you too, sister. Love you too, family. All right. Caller from area code 910. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, it's Don P calling out of Fayetteville, North Carolina right now. How's it going, Apple?
It's good, brother. It's good. How you feeling? What's on your mind?
It's good. All right, yo. Before I go, am I a little choppy? Because you sound choppy.
I sound you sound cool. You sound cool to me.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me give you the rundown on the dude he was arguing with, man. I usually don't give people shine when it comes to that, but this is dangerous. You know what I mean? His name is BSI. He goes by the term BSIA. Black Skin is Amazing, and he goes under the moniker of ADO/FBA. And there's a group of them that has these channels to where, you know, they just calling anything and everybody tethers no matter what, which is dangerous, which is why Jason Black got on his chat for just people throwing the term tether around loosely. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are agents of they're agents of chaos. They follow behind Yvette Carnell. A lot of them got a lot of smoke with Tariq Nasheed and anybody who's of that ilk. Because of the whole FBA ADOS thing. So, yeah, like, it's just best just to be aware of people like him, for sure. Like, their arguments is in bad faith, as you can see. And, yeah, you just got to be careful with them. And for those in the chat that's calling him a tether, again, we got to be careful about using that term loosely. You know, if you're an immigrant that's undermining us and that has coonish ways, then, yes, absolutely, you're a tether. But just because somebody disagrees with you, they're not a tether. You know what I mean? They may just be, if they're Black American and they disagree, or if they're doing coonish activity, they're just a coon. It's a difference. So I'm going to land my plane right there, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I heard him call in, but I didn't know he was from anywhere else. Okay. I didn't hear.
Right.
I appreciate you letting me know that. And let me say this. This is why when people ask me, is Brandon Haitian? I say, hey, he may be. This is what some people are saying. Right. I have not independently verified if he's from Haiti or if he is FBA, which is why you guys have never seen me claim he is Haitian or is a tether, because I don't know, you know. So unless we know, it's very important that we specify that we don't know. We don't know that. You know, everybody we disagree with is not a tether. That's just the real talk. I mean, you got your Jesse Lee Petersons out here. You got your Larry Elders out here. You got folk out here. You got your Jim Clyburns out here. You got FBAs out here who are off code. Everybody who's off code ain't a tether. And it's important because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the the term FBA synonymous with people who are xenophobic and just blatantly hate all immigrants. So you got
That's a
these
fact.
agents
After
out
you hit it
here.
right on the nail, brother.
Yeah, you got these agents out here who are deliberately trying to make FBA seem like we just hate any and everybody, especially other black people. All right. So we have to be careful because we don't want to fall into that trap. And then when we go to get some paperwork done and all of that stuff, they'll be all like, y'all seem like a xenophobic hate group. Y'all seem like a xenophobic hate group.
Right.
So that's what they're trying to make
Right.
the FBA term be synonymous with, which is why we got to be careful with, we can label anybody off code, but we need to be careful if
Right.
we don't know for sure. Because if we say, hey, that person's a tether, well, how do you know? Oh, I can just tell. Okay, let's calm
Gotta be
down with
careful.
that, because that's what the agents do.
Right.
And they'll just be calling any and everybody tethers. A lot of them will call people tethers that they know are not tethers, just so they can make it seem like we just call anybody a tether that we don't like. So that's a lot of what they're doing
Right.
too. So we got to know exactly. Jasmine Crockett. We got people in our lineage who off code. We had a William O'Neill who helped the FBI assassinate Fred Hampton. So we know
Yeah,
about
that's
our
an
code.
agent for sure.
So
Yeah.
it's not like,
Yeah.
anybody who not FBA is all off code and we all on code. We ain't all on code, unfortunately. That's just the truth.
Yeah. But nah, man, I was just giving you the rundown, and I'm glad you broke it down like that, man, because I seen what you went through with Secure the Tribe Space, and that's, you basically explaining what happened back then now, and I can appreciate that. It's just, these people who call up to Tariq Space and, come through with the passive aggressiveness or threaten them, and they're confident that they are Black American. Those people chill around the same circles. So I just want the family to be aware that, these people are agents of chaos, man. So thanks for having me on there, Apple. On love,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Black first.
Black first, brother. I didn't even know that he like had a channel or was a part of a group or anything like that. But I appreciate you letting me know that. I really do. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. They praise Yvette Carnell. That's their queen mother right there.
Okay. And that makes sense. That makes sense.
But all right, those.
I appreciate
Right.
you, brother.
You take it easy, man.
You too. And get to the next caller. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. See, that's important information. I'm glad he called up and let us know that. Caller from 929. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm on live. Hello?
Caller from 929. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
You can hear me?
Not that. No, just speak up a little bit. Not loudly. Can you speak up a little bit? I can't really hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, B1. Oh, this is Harlem World.
Oh, what's on your
Harlem
mind? Where you
World.
calling from, brother?
From Harlem.
Oh, that would make sense. What's on your mind?
First thing I want to say is peace to the family. B1, we don't run.
Mm-hmm.
FBA, we don't play. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yo, that guy who called up earlier, he just said agent. He wasn't talking nothing. You telling him 2 + 2 is 4. He's saying, I don't know what you're talking about. What does that mean? But I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I love the movement. I was at the first reparations rally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really? Did we see each other at the first reparations rally? Did we see each other?
No, I didn't see you. I didn't see you there.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't see you there. I was in the crowd when Dr. West was speaking. He said, "First things first, you can hear me yell, fuck the police." I'm that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I might have been
you know who
probably
I am.
back around that time.
But the one thing I want to say is these Latinos and Hispanics in New York City are extremely anti-Black racist.
Mm-hmm.
The black people in New York, they act like they don't care. The African Americans over here, I'm on call. I try to explain it, but they try to ignore it. White supremacy as much as possible. But we just got to keep it in their face. I love where the movement is going in. Peace to you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, this movement is powerful. This movement is definitely going somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is Harlem where I'm gonna keep all the information you guys are spitting out. I'm gonna keep spreading it throughout Harlem. I'm gonna keep spreading it. I'm not gonna stop. Every day, all day. FBA, we don't play. B1, we don't run. Where there's a will, there's a way. We not gonna stop. We not letting go of nothing. I was talking to an African the other day. He gonna tell me, forget about slavery, and then in the same sense to say, oh, they took our artifacts. Artifacts, man. Listen, he says 200. I says 220 million Nigerians. He said they tell us we can't make moves. I said if it's 100 Harlem niggas throwing rocks, we gonna win. They don't want to see 10 of us standing together. They don't got that spirit how we got that spirit, bro. They not like us, bro. We not gonna play with these people. We gonna get our reparations, bro. But there's a will, there's a way, and we not gonna stop, bro. That fire, the FBA fire is burning, bro. The FBA fire is burning, and they can't put it out, bro. And they hate it. They hate it, bro. We got that. We got to weaponize. We got to weaponize our culture. We got to weaponize our culture, our comedy. We got to weaponize everything, our dances, everything, bro. We got to take back hip hop. We got to take over, bro. And we not gonna stop. We not gonna stop because for our kids. And you know what else you got to do, brother? One thing, FBA got to start pushing for harsher laws on pedos, on these creeps. You know why? Because the people who hate black men abuse children. That's a fact. Black men ain't this, black men ain't that. And all you're trying to do is get close to a baby and hurt them. That's all you want to do. The people who hate black men abuse children. And that's a fact,
I'm gonna let you
FBA,
land your plane. I'm gonna let you land your plane, brother. So we can get to the next couple callers.
FBA all day, we don't play. B1, we don't run. Us, never them. We gonna win. I got that runaway slave mentality. We gonna make it. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to that Mujara spirit. Shout out to that Nat Turner energy, that Harriet Tubman energy. Now, let's see if this worked this time. Caller from area code 405. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, now you call back. What's your name?
Right,
where you calling from, brother?
What's up, bro? My name King Judah. Oklahoma City. My name Robert.
Okay, what?
My real name Robert, brother. Look, I look at it like this. I'm from Oklahoma City. We are deeply rooted in America, right? Everybody be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this our homeland. All this, everybody talking about, oh, we need to be fighting for people and doing all this shit. Fuck off. I'm sorry for, I don't mean to disrespect your life. But, bro, it's crazy to me that people expect us to have their back. They don't have our back when we going through stuff, when we get killed, when we going through all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even people like Dr. Umar, he went to Ghana and talked shit about her. And we can't defend that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we go through so much, bro. We cannot be backing people that don't back us. It's wrong. And we soft as hell to let people keep doing stuff like that to us. I love you. I love Tariq Nasheed. I love the this other brother. I forget his name. The Black Authority or something. For him, it's another brother. It be real shit going on. And I'm with all that. But we got to stand on business. Ain't no arguing with no motherfuckers. None of that. It is what it is. Ain't no arguing with no nigga about no hip hop. None of it. It is what it is. We standing on business. Y'all ain't standing on business. Stand on your own business. Stand on your own business. Stand on your own 2 feet. Stand on your own square.
That's
If
true.
you can't do that, don't be calling us to come save you when most of y'all, more of y'all, the fucking voted for this shit. And then you want us to come save you from the chaos that you created? And see, what I think they trying to do is they vote for Trump, but then they try to get us to vote for the Democrats. So they can still have those amenities and then look at us crazy. And then say, oh yeah, look at you niggas. And then take the white supremacy role and stand on their side. And now they get a wake-up call. They get the shit smacked out of them. And now they mad at us.
Yeah, unfortunately, they learned in the hard way that a lot of them are not on team white like they keep thinking that they are. Now that's just not our problem. Ultimately, it's just not our problem. But they learned in the hard way that they not really as white as they thought they were. Okay. Everybody is white until they get checked. We the only people who don't be confused about that. The Asians were confused about that. That's why they was trying to push to get rid of affirmative action. You see how that turned out for them. Hispanics talking about go Trump, you're lazy, you need to work, you don't work hard.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And look how that's turning out for them. So okay, y'all thinking y'all
Just like
closer
that
on the
dude was
racial
saying,
hierarchy
oh,
to the
no
Japanese.
more nothing for you. No more nothing for you, nigga. You lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yep. But I appreciate you, brother. Let me get to these other callers real quick. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to that. Robert double back. That's FBA Drew. He double back. He was like, I'm gonna make sure my call cool. I appreciate the determination. Caller from area code 504. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Phil Como. I'm calling from New Orleans.
What's on your mind, brother? I said, what's on your mind?
Oh, okay, yeah. I was wondering, do we have somebody that's among us FBAs that could do some in-depth investigating of the $5 Indians, to find out who give them the authority to say that they are the Native Indians and get pictures of their documents so this could be shown to our people so we'll know what we're up against. Because, just like other incidents where these people have stolen land from our people, and some of our people don't even know where to start to see if they can recoup that land back. So that's what I wanted to know, if we had people that could do that.
There's a few people who do that, and they do it like professionally, so they know how to track ancestry, they know how to track lands and track documentation. The thing is that a lot of us really are now just starting to get access. It's not that difficult, but a lot of us don't know where to go and how to really track it. You know what I'm saying? So there are people who do that, like they pay you pay them to trace your ancestry. You give them all of the documentation that you have available, and they can trace that back, and then they know where to find the other pieces of documentation. So there are people who do that.
But the main thing that I want to know is I'm gonna cut you off.
If we can find out if the Native Americans are not Native Americans, is that what you're asking?
Right.
That's
right. They need to heavily be investigated. And who gives them the authority and the documentation?
Yeah. Here's the thing with that. To disprove that they're not Native Americans is probably going to be a losing battle, because as long as they can prove that they didn't come here on the slave trade, they can claim to be native. As long as they can prove that they were not here, didn't arrive through the Middle Passage, they can claim to be native. Whether they came from Siberia, whether they came from Asia, that's the situation, you know. So
Okay.
that's kind of a harder fight. It's easier to prove that we are native than it is to disprove that they are native, because they do have a case to prove that they're native. They do have a case to prove that they were here before 1619. All right. Now we were here
No.
longer than
Okay.
them, though. But you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That is going to be like something to disprove that. That's going to be a very hard fight. If and the odds of success of that is pretty much none, honestly.
Okay. I understand. I understand, Afro.
Yeah. But I appreciate your question. I appreciate your call. Thank you, brother.
Thank you too, sir. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah. Caller from area code 773. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, hi. My name is Ann Benton Clinton. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
What's on your mind, sister?
You know, I've been searching my family history also, from North Carolina, Louisiana, Mississippi. They don't ask for no blood test. It go by, you look up your family, it take you to the reservation. They have books that tell us our people was in charge. Our people threatened the white people. The white people took this land. The white people took this land and gave it to those people that pretended to be native. It's all in writing.
Mm-hmm.
They pushed our people off the land in 1830. My people were there. They didn't leave. My great-grandfather didn't get approved for the road until 1935, when they added the Cherokees that wouldn't leave the land. The people that got pushed to Oklahoma, they came from them states. The states tell us what's all reservations. I can look up my people and it say the states they was in was reservations. And Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, all them people was pushed there.
Mm-hmm.
America set treaties with our people and took the land. And they slowly sold it. It's all in writing.
Yep.
It's all in writing, brother. And all our names is there. I've been searching for almost 5 years now. And I think we got a chance that Trump looking at these people saying, you don't look native to me. I done heard him say it over 3 times so far.
Yeah.
You don't look native, you don't look Indian to me, and neither do the Indians don't think you Indian. I found a census with my father's family on it, and it state race Indian. Say Indian. We all thought our people came from somewhere else. I done found up to 1810, and they all was here in the United States. So I don't know. Maybe we need this will be one place we need to march on. All of them. These people actually took this money. This money that the America freemen and the Indians should have received. The Indians was in charge. Our people. It's all in writing, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we definitely got to get that
do this
research
work?
done.
Mike TV do it. Mike TV do it, and this guy named YouTube. He also do the work on all of this. It's all in writing, brother. They got a thing that's called pay stop. It'll let me get so far looking up my ancestors, then they want me to buy books to look it up. Buy books to look up their name. The rule is set up. Those people shouldn't be there.
Yep.
Those are people land.
All right.
And the name says, every land I looked on, it said my people were in reservation from my third grandfather up to now. They was born in 1850, 1840. My parents was born in 1923 and 1925. So I think there's something we can do about this situation. We just got to
Yeah,
work
it
on it.
definitely is. I mean, if
And
you
we got to
like
stop saying you take blood
one of the
tests.
things,
Blood tests don't show.
yeah, thank you. And one of the things that
We got
we
to
say
stop saying
often,
that, okay? Don't say nothing about no blood test.
yeah, and that's the
We
thing. They
don't
use
take
the
blood
blood test. They use the blood test thing to actually as a way to, a mechanism to pretty much keep us out of being able to claim that stuff. Now, the blood test was not used when they originally were doing the dolls rolls thing. The blood test wasn't used then. All right. And
They
now
don't
they're
use it
using
today.
blood test quantums. They're using the blood test
No,
quantums
no,
as an
no. I went on a lot of them and I
ma'am,
applied.
hold
They
okay.
don't use the
Hold,
blood test.
ma'am,
You have
that's
to.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they don't use that, but they tell us we
Yeah, the
need to
blood
use
test.
that. Okay. In order
Oh,
for,
they bull jabbing us then.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they don't claim or originally to get in the dolls roles, they weren't doing that. And now they're saying in order for us to qualify, we would have to do that. And they know that they know that that's an obstacle, and they know that that's a way to pretty much block us from being able to make those claims. So that's very important that we do the paperwork on that. And I appreciate your call. Thank you, sister.
Okay, you keep doing a good job, Apple.
Okay, thank you.
Love your show.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a good one. All right. Caller from area code 404. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is John, and I'm calling from Atlanta.
What's on your mind, brother?
And I'm not going to keep it for so long. You all was talking about the Indians. I don't know. I didn't catch the show in the beginning. I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but there was a time they had the $5 Indian thing. I think was going out in Oklahoma when land was being given to I believe it was the Native people, and so these white people came up with this. They went to the government and the government over in Oklahoma, somewhere in that area, and said gave the people $5 so they can become say that they're Indians and get part of the land. And so, yeah, a lot of those. So I was thinking, I said probably a lot of those people are not true Native Americans, because they got European background. They're not, original. So when I heard that being said, I said, well, that popped into my mind about the $5 Indian. And I just want to also say, and I'm not going to hold you for long. I just want to also say, in the Bible, it's also that reference us, the true Israelites, black people, African American, all those things, Negroes, whatever. The Lord said He was going to scatter Israel all over the land, all over the world. I'm sorry, all over the world. And so that's why you got origins like in Australia, black people. You got parts of China that started off black, and parts of the world, even in America, that have dark skinned people, because this prophecy was prophesied years ago, and in the you got some of our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and in all parts of the world. So I believe, I know that in the origin of the Native America was dark skinned people. And this one more thing I'm gonna say, Caribou Ahayu, I think is his name. He came up with the colorized Indians that you could see that the true Indians were dark skinned. They were really dark. And he started colorizing pictures. I think that's probably about 4 or 5 years ago when I saw that. So yes, I just want to just comment on that. So,
I appreciate that, and that's very.
I'm not going to hold you.
And thank you.
Okay. Okay, take care, bro. Peace,
All
peace
right.
and blessings to you.
Peace to you, brother. Thank you. All right. And we did discuss the $5. If he watches in the playback, we did discuss the whole thing about $5 Indians, just so you know, in case you watch in the playback. But thank you. I appreciate your call. Okay. We had some pretty good calls. We had some funny ones. But we'll wrap things up this evening. We'll wrap things up from here. So shout out to the callers. Guess who calling back? We're just not going to do that tonight. We're just not going to do that this evening. We're not. He took up enough of our precious, important time, and we will not allow him to take up any more time any longer. So, overall, we got people. We got a bunch of $5 Indians out here claiming.
We've been Indian our whole.
We got a bunch of them claiming that we are not native, that we're from Africa. We're all from Africa, and we can't claim native, and we're blackwashing history. We went through a long thing during Black History Month. We went through a long thing, and we discussed the fact that there is a whole bunch of people who are kicked out of the tribes, wrongfully betrayed, enslaved by their own fellow natives, and told that actually you're not native whatsoever. You're from Africa. And if you say that you're native at all to any degree, then it's because you hate yourself, you hate your family, you came from the slave ships, you were put onto the slave ships by the Europeans, you came from Africa, they put you on a plantation, and they made you work. And that's all you are, and you can't claim anything else. But then when you actually do the history, when you look at the science of it, when you look at the architecture of this land before Europeans came here, before they claimed any Negro people came here, you say, hey, you know what? A lot of these people kind of look black to me. A lot of these people, if they were alive today, you would think that they were just regular black people with quote unquote, good hair, because their hair texture was different. That's what a lot of people say. The good hair comes from Indian. It's just a different hair texture. Okay. Not to say that 4C is bad, worse, or anything. But no, when you actually look at it, no, we were very tied into it. When you do the genealogy, and I just proved the logistics of it. I didn't really go into the genealogy and all that stuff for that. I really didn't do that. I just said, hey, what makes the most sense? Let's talk about what we know happened, what has been confirmed, and then let's talk about what makes the absolute most sense. When we had a very educational broadcast, I didn't even expect it to be this long, to be very honest with you. I really, oh my God, I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't. But we did, and we had a very educational broadcast. And I appreciate every single last one of you guys. I appreciate all the calls. We have another super chat. Let me get to the other super chat real quick. Booming Black Economy says, FBA being on code has all of the anti-black tethers, agents, bed winches, and bootlicks shook because the code is working. The code is working. And if we were ineffective, and if we didn't matter, you wouldn't have trolls calling up. If we were ineffective, it didn't matter. You wouldn't have people talking. We would be ignored. We would just really just be ignored. That's what would happen. And nobody would think about us. Nobody would care about us. We're not moving the needle. We're not really making any noise outside of being online. That's what they claim all the time. Yet we bother them so much. We're a very small little niche of people who don't have a life. And we only make noise online, but yet we bother them when we get under their skin. Just make it make sense. And thank you for that. I appreciate you. Now, family, we're still doing Black History Month, y'all. So I need you guys to make sure that you guys don't miss anything. So y'all follow me on my various social media platforms. That's Afro Elite on Instagram, and then The Afro Elite on Twitter. That way, y'all don't miss out on any notification, any live, any broadcast, because I always put notifications on my social media pages. Let me get to our super chat from our brother Hurricane. Hurricane says, very good broadcast. Also, people double block that caller. Also, please double block that call. Yeah, he kept calling, and because he called so long ago, I didn't know it was him. I didn't know it was him. And when he would call, and then he would kind of be in the queue. And as I was getting to the callers, I guess he would get cold feet and hang up. And that's the second I saw him, I'm like, you know what? Let me pick this. I don't know if you're a troll. Let me pick this call up, because I would see his call and I wouldn't know it was him, but the call would just hang up. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if the person nervous or whatever the case is, but okay, now I know it's him. So now I know. I didn't know before, but now I know. I instantly recognized the voice. I could tell that. And I also need you guys to make sure that you guys like. All right. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, and make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Very important. Very important that you do all of these things. I appreciate y'all. We got another super chat. From Oracle Queen says, thank you, Afro and family. Stay great, black first, 10 toes down. I appreciate you, sister. Thank you so very much. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate your support. Now, with that being said, black family, we are learning about our history. We are learning about who we are and what we need to do. Because the ultimate thing is that you don't really know what you need to do if you don't know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you're just lost. You're just lost people of the world, which is what they kept trying to make us believe that we were, with terms like African American. You're from Africa, but you're not really from Africa. You're from America, but you're not really from America. You're really nobody. And when you use certain terms that psychologically makes you feel like you're kind of lost people, and you don't have a land, you don't have a country, you're really nobody. You don't belong to anybody. You don't belong anywhere. That defeats you mentally and psychologically and emotionally. But when we find out where we're from, we find out who we are, we find out where our people are from, and this is our land, and we have claim to this land, we have blood in this land, that changes what we think about ourselves, which will change what we do. All right. So it's very important. It's all about your thoughts, what you think, and then what you speak, and then your actions, your thoughts, speech, and actions. And I've learned that from none other than one of our grandmaster teachers who recently transitioned. Okay. Everybody, let's give a salute to our master teacher, our brother Nilly Fuller Jr., who passed away a few days ago. Our brother Nilly Fuller taught us a lot of game. Okay. Priceless, classic game. And we've learned so much about how to be on code. We learned so much about the system of white supremacy, what it is and how it works. A lot of black people were out here being confused, didn't understand, didn't even like to use the word white supremacy, didn't understand these things. Okay. Nilly Fuller taught us a lot of game. He taught a lot of people a lot of game. He taught our other elder, our other ancestor, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and she would brag about brother Nilly Fuller all the time. He lived a very full life, but he was always learning. Every time you talk to him, he's like, he's always learning. At the age of 95, he was born in 1926. So we take this moment to acknowledge his work and the fact that the fight still lives on, and that he might not be with us physically, but he is still with us spiritually. He's still with us emotionally. He's still with us psychologically. He's gone, but he's not forgotten, and he never will be forgotten. And his life, as long as 95 years old is, his life was short in comparison to the value that he brought to this world. Now, with that being said, my brothers and sisters, salute to every single last one of you all, and y'all stay blessed.